Hello, this is the Maple Leaf Business Podcast. My name is Fraser Simpson. I'm here with Eliza S., and we're going to be talking about tax. What's the first topic we got today, Eliza?
The interest rates.
Interest rates going up. So inflation's going up. Gas is going up. Food prices going up. Everything is going up. That's what happens with inflation, including the T-bill rate, which is what is the Canada Revenue Agency bases their interest rate based on the 3-month rolling T-bill rate. So they take the average of the previous 3 months, and that's what becomes the interest rate that they charge you on your tax that's owing. So if you owe Revenue Canada or the Canada Revenue Agency, it's going to cost you, before it was 2-3%, creeped up to 4, 5, 6. Now they just moved it up to 7%.
Okay.
So make sure that you don't owe Canada Revenue Agency any money.
That's easy to say.
Easy to say. I just said it. Easy. So it's easy to do too. You just pay off your debt when at the end of the year, or plan for it so that you don't have a debt, like by RSP contributions.
And like right now, what you can do, just pay off your debt, or is there anything
Well,
else
I think
you can do?
the biggest takeaway from this is people who are self-employed don't realize that they're required to make installment payments throughout the year based on the prior year's income, or again the average of the previous 3 years' income.
Okay.
And so they give you this calculation, and if you don't make your installments, they charge you interest on it. Before, people didn't really worry about it because it was like 2%. So you could obviously use the money and make more than 2% yourself just by putting into a stock. But now stocks are tanking, and so interest rates going up. So now you got to worry about that stuff. And so make sure that if you have installments, pay your installments.
Like, did they just suddenly increase it to 7%, or?
No, they do it because it's based on they have legislation which says that it's based on the rolling 3-month T-bill rate, and the T-bill rate is affected by inflation. So they raise, when you hear them talking about raising interest rates, that's the T-bill rate is what banks lend, not what banks lend to each other, but basically what they lend to each other. There's another rate below that. But the T-bill rate is now basically the lowest cost, and because of inflation, it's at 7%. Really, it's a reflection of inflation. So they try to even it out, for savers and that to, so if you put into a bank right now at the T-bill rate and you made 7%, inflation was going up 7%, then you're basically at zero, right?
Okay,
so the takeaway
this is here to help us, right? Like the government is to help people. How is this helping us?
Well, they're helping us because first of all, they're taking care of their money. So when you don't pay them, then they charge you 7%. That's taking care of that money is, Canada's money. It's us taxpayers. You're a taxpayer. You want to make sure that when you pay your taxes, other people pay their fair share of taxes, and if they don't, they get penalized by paying 7%. So don't be one of those people. What else do we got, Eliza?
Your ebook. Like, since when are you writing?
Ebook, yeah. Well, I've been thinking about this for a number of years, and I do chapters here and there and topics, and so I've got all these notes all over the place, and I put them together, and it's going to release it pretty soon, and we're working on it right now. I've got 10 chapters. Got prologue. I've got introduction done. Graphics for the front. It's going to be, it's going to be the best. I'm telling you right now. Okay, it will be the best tax book ever published in Canada.
So this is actually serious.
I'm serious.
You're doing a serious.
This is a serious book. This book will be so cool because it will have links to either my website or landing pages so that I can retarget you on Facebook advertising later. Oh, no. Oh, I shouldn't. Never mind that. And so, no, I will be doing that, okay? So fair warning, all right? This is a capitalist society, all right? Everybody's got a right to make money, right? So I will, anybody that buys a book, I will freely retarget you. And because obviously you need tax services after that. No, but I'll have links to sources. And so basically it will be, and I'll keep them updated. So if you ever want to know, for example, what tax rate you're paying at a certain rate, instead of if you go to KPMG or any of these other websites, You have to be a scientist to figure out how to read them.
Yeah.
I can't even read them, and I'm an expert. And it's like, 10 provinces and then different provincial federal rates and combination rates and exceptions, and you just get, they don't know how to, concisely put it all into just one little, how much am I going to pay? I make $100,000 and I live in Ontario. How much?
Because this is literally what we want to know.
That's what you want to know. You don't want to know if I make $2 million, how much. And then if you're in between there somewhere, call the tax mechanic. We'll tell you for a fee, of course.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be exciting. Plus, I'm going to put in a bunch of stories and anecdotes about my things that have happened to me over the years, which I've had a lot of very, very interesting stories. I've had the biggest fraud tax case in history. I've had him as a client.
Oh, share one with us. What?
Okay, so
are you allowed?
I'm
if you're
allowed
writing
to.
this
Listen,
book?
I can. I'll share one with you right now. John DePoche. I used to be his right arm man, and we purchased once an island for $9 million.
What?
An island, right? Then we split up the island into, I can't remember. It was like a couple of hundred pieces, right? So that, over the year, we would sell you, for example, a piece of the island. Mm-hmm. So you get to go to the island, you'd have the island for 2 days or something, like time sharing on the island. Okay. But we did it as donations, so that the $9 million actually became a donation. So he bought it, donated it to his friends, and got a deduction for it, and that's how you reduce tax. That's how the rich reduce tax. So that's an interesting story. And then
did you come up with all of that?
No, smarter people. There are very few smarter people than me, but there is some smarter lawyers than me that came up with that. Oh. But I was hired to vet it out, right? So I vetted out and said, yeah, this will work. But there's one caveat here. To really be sure is I should have one of the timeshares. Okay. And so I was given one of the timeshares, and I never went. I regret that to this day. Oh. So I could have gone to the island and just gone, hey, this island's mine for 2 days.
Yeah.
And so that would have been pretty cool. But it was a special island, too. Like, it had all the amenities and everything, like, food and catering.
Special
and everything.
island,
Yeah.
oh God.
No, it was heavy. So that's one little story, and I'll put it in there. I've got, that's a good one. I've got lots of them about, funny things that have happened over the years, funny things in tax court.
So what made you even write a book or start writing?
Well, I wanted to create a lead magnet so I could get more prospects and then sell them stuff. It's basically just all they care about is money. So, when you re-engineer that or, reverse engineer it, hey, you got to do a book in order to draw the people in and so then you can sell them services. Mm. I'm kidding, of course. Right?
Oh, I totally was that makes sense.
No, I do this to give back a little bit, right? To tell people what really is happening. Right. I think people should know, for example, I know we'll talk about it, that, certain things people don't understand, like tax is a big deal. So, you look at Canada, Canada is one of the biggest tax havens in the world. Hmm. And that's because, I'll be blunt, Chinese people come in here, buy up property, and shelter the money, and don't pay tax. And that's why partly why I want to write the book is to shine a light on that, right? And so people, when you see, if it becomes the #1 bestseller, right, then people will become aware of that, and then they'll talk about it.
Oh, that would be great.
That'd be great. I want to talk about it because I want, I've got 10-minute fixes for these. You make me prime minister for 10 minutes, and I'll solve a lot of it. A lot of it right away.
Easy.
I've got like 10 points I would put in, enact these things, and problem would be solved.
Man.
Now, all the investment would leave the country and we'd be devastated and probably become like Cuba or something like that. So I haven't really thought.
Or that one specific island.
Or that one specific island we could all go to, right? Get a timeshare and reduce our tax. You're catching on here. Right?
I know. I'm part of the team.
You're part of. That's great. So that's the ebook is. You can look for that. I'm going to be leaking out little experts here and there, excerpts. I said experts. I meant excerpts.
Oh, cool.
And it's going to be available on Amazon, just ready for Christmas rush. Right?
Oh, a nice morning up to Christmas read.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Just
it'll
to
be
start.
It won't be like other tax books. It won't be boring
Okay.
for sure. You're gonna
Well, no,
you'll be able to
knowing
read
you,
through it.
I doubt
no,
that
no,
it's going to be
I
boring.
can't
Yeah.
do a boring book, man. It's got to be. There'll be anything resource wise. I'll include a link. But really, I want you to be able to take any chapter you want. You know, if you want to read about the CRA, inside the CRA, I'll talk about that. Inside, you know, stories about John DePoche and the biggest tax fraud in Canada and anything like that. You know, interesting stories. You'll see those. You can skip around and take whatever you want, right? If you want tax tips, I'll have a link to just the latest tax tips. This is from a guy that's done it for. You know, I've done, the biggest return I've done is $15 million. Not saying I was John DePoche, but we all know it was.
Right, yeah.
So, but it's been 10 years, so my non-disclosure agreement is over. And any of you lawyers out there that work for John, don't think so, okay? Don't call me, don't even start. By the way, you don't want to mess with me in tax court, okay?
Oh my God, where did we start?
I
But who can read your book? Will a 15-year-old be able to read
Yes.
your book? Okay.
Yes.
Because we don't have the tax education in schools, and that would be maybe
That's going to be
good
that's going to be a big thing of this. Is that I want to educate people right from, you know, a beginner taxpayer all the way through. I'll give you tips on, you know, really for it doesn't take a lot to do proper tax planning. Like literally, you know, for most people, I would say max out your TFSA, max out your RSP, and pay your tax. And took me 30 seconds to say that. But if you do that, you'll retire very nicely and you'll do very well in the tax game. Where people get into trouble is they get into all these hanky-panky things where, you know, they'll get tax shelters or donations like islands and stuff like that, and then it gets reassessed and you get into problems, or you don't pay your payroll remittance tax as a self-employed. And you know, we were just talking about a guy earlier today about that. You know, he's in big trouble. He's owes like $900,000 and
That's insane.
yeah, in payroll tax, but that's like probably $500,000, $400,000 interest and penalties.
Yeah.
But it becomes a problem now because he's trying to, you know, you can't refinance your house and stuff, and he may lose his house as a result, and so your life becomes kind of, may lose his business. You know,
Like,
so,
what do you do at this point? Because 900,000, like he's gonna sell his house, the business, something like it's still potentially gonna be not enough.
yeah, well, he has to basically go to the Canada Revenue Agency and plead his case and do a financial hardship, which I will talk about in the book as well. I'll give you your options, right? In fact, he called me just before we're taping, and you heard him. He was like, you know, he's stressed, and he was like, "Is there a chance I can go to jail?" And the real answer is yes, there is. Sorry if you're listening to this, I didn't tell you that, but what I did say was there's no chance you're going to jail.
Yeah.
And for him, he won't go to jail because it's not an intentional thing. The only time you go to jail is when, you know, you purposely, you know, sign fictitious HST returns for fictitious companies, and you're just a bad guy.
Okay.
You're a criminal, and you're doing it, you know, with the intent to screw the government, right? He didn't do that. His business was going down, and so he thought that by not paying payroll tax, that he could use that money to, you know, buy suppliers off and that, and then it just snowballs, right?
So the judge will kind of see it as something that's not on purpose, or just like negligence, or
That's right. But you know, but they may, you know, but they could prosecute him, right? It depends, but they don't know. In Canada, in the States, it would, but in Canada they don't do that. They only if you're egregious, which is egregious is an interesting word because there was a CBC report that came out last Friday that chastised the Canada Revenue Agency for being egregious, meaning that it's when you're really over the top treating a taxpayer poorly. And so it was a famous case. We talked about it before out in BC, but this judge came out with a 54-page decision. And he was, I haven't even read it all yet. But what I have seen little excerpts here and there is he was calling the Revenue Canada agents worse than what they were accusing the perpetrators of. So they were saying that the Revenue Canada agents, what they were doing was the court would ask them for documents and during their investigation. So, you know, hey, show us the documents that show that you took this or that or this. and there'd be missing documents. So the Canada Revenue Agency was actually concealing some of their activities from the court,
Yeah.
not only from the other party,
Yeah.
but from the court. And the judge just freaked, said this is outrageous.
Yeah. How is it possible?
54-page decision.
Yeah.
Like normally it's like 2-page decision. He did 54 pages. Just so it's a famous decision right now. I haven't even. We'll maybe do a live later on sometime and just talk about this decision after I go through it. And it's going to affect a lot of people because they destroyed these people's lives over 10, 15 years. And now it turns out that they're hiding information from them and that they're basically innocent, right?
Like why would CRA want to do that?
Because they get into power. It's like certain people, like say you're an investigator, and say in this, for example, this case, there was fraudulent activity, and so but there was 2 perpetrators, but there was 300 investors.
Okay.
And what they did was they made an example out of 300 investors, but it wasn't their fault. It was the 2 perpetrators.
Yeah.
So what Revenue Canada tried to do was blame everybody else, and they charged them with egregious penalties, which doubles the tax, and it makes it a huge liability for them, right? And they could be prosecuted. So this has been over their heads. But in order to justify that, they had to go raid their homes, and they had to get documents and bank statements and all kinds of things. But they hid a bunch of documents that showed what they were doing, why they were doing it,
Right.
and did they have justification for doing it, right?
That's so stupid.
It
Like,
is.
this is
It's
crazy.
not justice.
Yeah.
It's not justice, and that's why this judge flipped out. But what's interesting is, from the tax mechanic's point of view, is that we can now use this case in our dealings.
How? How do you want to
Well,
use it now?
because it now becomes a precedent. So now I can say, I've got lots of taxpayers that have been in court for years, and I can say, hey, listen, based on this one here, this should be thrown out. Ooh, so we'll see.
Okay.
Could be a good day for you delinquent taxpayers out there.
Nice. Another one would be.
What else do we got?
The QuickBooks. What did you want to say about the
QuickBooks.
QuickBooks?
Oh,
What's
QuickBooks.
up?
So-
What's up there?
I get asked almost every single day, what accounting software should I use? And this is not a commercial, by the way, but I just want to answer this so people don't keep asking me, okay? Is I say use QuickBooks Online. For the amount of money, it does everything for you, unless you're making millions of dollars, then you can go to another package. But even so, at millions of dollars, I think it'll do everything for you. So it's the number 1 package. And so when you look at, DePoche actually taught me this, was when you look at choices that you have to make, I would give them choices like, say, investments, and he would go, okay, give me the top 3. And I'd give him the top 3, and he goes, okay, which is the top one? I go, this one. He goes, okay, I want that one. And he would do that with everything, right?
Okay.
So like he would do, like, say he was hiring somebody, right? He'd say, okay, interview 5 people. All right. Okay. And then he would ask 3 people, who is your number 1 pick? And then if number 1 pick was 2 people picked the same person, you would pick that person. So you should do this with your accounting software. All you got to do is do your research. What is the number 1 sold accounting package in Canada, actually in the States as well? Intuit QuickBooks. Why? So the reason being is because you're number one for a reason.
Okay.
You've been around customer service. It's easy to use. These customers like it, and they stay with it, right? And the price there. So they're doing a kind of a neat thing too, which I think is really their company Intuit is one of these socially conscious companies, and they do a lot of really good work. So I just love actually buying software with a company or dealing with people that do good things, and they do good things. You should check them out.
Aww.
They do real good things, man.
Like what? What do you mean? Like, give back to the community?
You know what? Give back to the community. Like Intuit is actually an indigenous name, right? So it's that's where they start with that, and so they're very community conscious, and I don't really have time to get into all their philanthropy, but I can tell you that they are one of the top companies And so it makes you proud. I don't mind, shelling their service because they do really well. And they're doing something that I want to give back to them a little bit because on November 10th, I believe it's November 10th, is International Accountants Day.
Oh my God.
Give your accountant some love.
I believe this is November 10th. You would speak about this almost every time we would meet.
That's right. Every day, I feel like up until November 10th. And because it's justified, it's bigger than Christmas.
It is. It's your Christmas.
No, it's bigger generally than Christmas. Okay, National Accountants Day, and so what QuickBooks is doing, which is very cool, is that they're asking people to bring forth, name your accountant, and then so what QuickBooks will come back and they'll go with the client, go visit the accountant's office. And give them some swag in the office to shock and surprise them, right? So to give some love to the accountant. Isn't that, like, this is what I'm talking about. What a company. Hey, that's sweet, man. Yeah, like even me, I'm like, dude, I don't even care if now the question is, what am I going to get? Like, I was thinking Ferrari, you were thinking like a pen and a mug or something?
A mug.
A mug.
Yeah, and like a pad.
QuickBooks, get up your game, okay? I recommend you to
from
everything.
A pen to Ferrari. It can
Okay,
be
Ferrari,
a really
forget about the
expensive
Ferrari, but
pen.
how about, I don't know, like tickets to the Leaf games? Okay? How about 2 tickets to the first round of the playoffs this year for the Leaf games?
As long as it's not Blue Jays, but.
Oh, yeah. Harsh day for the Blue Jays last week. Well, let's not get into that. This is a family show. We want to keep it uplifting. So, that's International Accountants Day. Make sure you, name your accountant and give your accountant some love on that day, right?
That's awesome. I didn't know that there's an International Accountant Day.
Well,
November 10th. What a great day.
It is November 10th. It's great.
Hopefully it's going to be sunny. But
what else we got?
About the QuickBooks, I guess you would not use it, but like, can accountants use it?
I do. Of course I use it. I use it for my own business.
You do?
Yeah. I have I don't know how many, but I've got, maybe 40, 50 clients on them, right?
On the QuickBooks, okay.
On QuickBooks, and it's great. It's I've tried to get the message out there that if you're not on there, you should be. If you're self-employed doing your own books and that, you should be doing, at some point you've got to, hand it over to somebody else, but if you're organizing it just on a spreadsheet and that, you're not getting the full value of that software. And it's so good. Like, you can have, they've developed it over the years. So for invoicing, you can do it right from your phone. Invoice somebody. Payments, you can receive them on your phone. Timesheets, you can record it right there. So it becomes part of your invoice. It's really, really good software. Plus, I use them for Profile, which is my tax software. Which so it's nice to have both. It's like when you're buying video equipment. You see Sony everywhere here. I'm like, I guess when you get into a brand, it's like when you're looking for something else, you may look at Sony first, right? Because you expect a certain quality there.
Well,
right?
It's so good, like when we're talking about Sony, so.
Yeah, well, Intuit's up at that level when you're talking accounting software, right? So, QuickBooks, you're number one. If you're looking for software, go to QuickBooks. If you want to give me some love, you can just send me an email and I'll recommend them for you and I'll get a kickback from QuickBooks.
House flippers.
House flippers. So starting January 1st, 2023 coming up, new rules come into effect, which is, I get asked this a lot too. A lot of hotshot guys out there they're buying a condo, they go and live in it, right? Or say a house and they reno it.
Yeah.
And so they fix it up, stay there for a couple of months, 6 months even, 8 months, and then they flip it, they sell it. So because of the renovation, they'll get, they could put in, like, say, buy for, $1 million, put in $100,000, sell it for 1.2, and you get, $100,000 profit. And that profit, if you move in, it used to be if you moved in and you were there for a number of months, you can claim a personal residence on it, and therefore pay no tax on that $100,000. But starting January 1st, no more.
So you will have to pay
You have to
tax.
pay tax on the 100 grand.
Do we know how much tax it's gonna be? Or
Yeah, it'll be at, you know what, off the top of my head, it will be, I'm pretty sure to be, yeah, taxed at a capital gain rate. But I will check that and I'll put that in the notes for you. Okay, because I haven't read the rules since. There's another rule too that if you purchase a property and you don't rent it out and you sell it, then that also becomes taxable, and because you had no intention to rent it. Now there's a couple of exceptions there, which is
so even if you don't live in it, you just purchase it.
If you just purchase it, like you could purchase it, just hold on to it, and then sell it, and then claim a personal residence, but they won't let you do that anymore. So you'd have to pay capital gains tax on that amount. And what people were saying was they were purchasing it, they refurbish it, because they were saying they intended to rent it, and then when they refurbish it, they just sell it. And so those rules are no longer. So basically you have to live in it for more than a year now, and even then, it's, if you do it like say in a year and a month or something like that, even a couple of years, they may question it, right? So they're really coming after flippers. The funny part about it is real estate is crashing now, so it's really not much of an issue, right? It's too bad the government comes up with this too late.
Yeah.
Right? So, but you house flippers out there, if you're holding on for less than a year and you need help with that, give me a call, because there's other things you can do to mitigate your taxes, right? You can, you know.
Yeah, we want to know more about that. What can they do?
Well, they can, you know, it depends on your situation, but you know, you could, you know, rent it out for a while, rent it out for say a year.
Is that's
Right.
going to help someone?
And then yeah, well then it'll become a rental property, and then you can get a capital gains deduction on it, right? So, or you could, now that you know if you're going to pay full tax, then you could contribute to your RSP or whatever, right? And then you get earned income. It's still not bad. Making 100 grand income is not bad. And
Well, you have to find a place, buy it, live in it for 8 months, and then sell it, and only then you get your 100 grand.
we've got to live for more than a year though.
Or you live in it for
And
more, do the renovations.
I would say like a couple of years, right?
I mean, is it worth it?
Not anymore, but if you did it, say you did it for 2 years and it increased like 500 grand, then it'd be worth it,
Yeah.
right? Because you get 500 grand tax
So
free,
much effort, but yeah.
right? But you have to be, it's a big risk, because now, like if you do it, like just housing prices could potentially, you know, they stabilize or whatever, but they could crash too, right?
Yeah.
So you could go in there and stay there for 2 years, and then now you're screwed, right?
Right.
Because you got, you know, a property that's worth less than you paid for it. So, but you house flippers, watch out. Rules.
Because this
rules
year
start
is
January
already at your
1st.
back. Oh, January 1st. Wow. So many things. 2023 is going to be like 4-hour work thingy. Then the house flippers, watch out. What else is going to happen? Like what's new in the 2023?
Well, I think 2023 is still looking, from everything I see, is, you know, recession for sure.
Yeah.
So that's basically, inflation's going to be still, I don't see it coming down. Energy prices is going to be a hard winter. You know, the Russian thing there, it doesn't seem to be dying down. So it's going to be bad. So Europe's going to be in bad shape. So I think it's going to be rough times, right?
Can we just, like, we're living on the same planet. Can we just decide to, like, okay,
We should
chill?
We should all just chill, and but you know, this is all part of income distribution. You know, the haves and have-nots, and you know, you look at, you know, a country like Russia, like they're, you know, part of it is they don't have any way else to make money.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a big issue. And you look at, say, the States. You know, they're making a lot of money from military sales, right? So, you know, your incentives are all wrong, right? You got to make it so that, you know, that the incentive should be to, say, help the planet. Can we?
Tourism. We love to tourism.
Tourism,
we love to
like
travel. So.
Or let's if we all got on the same page to help the planet, like let's
that would be amazing.
you know, wouldn't it be great? Like, you know, just everybody drive electric cars, or just don't drive at all. How's that?
Well, like you could order Tesla. It's still coming.
Yeah. Tesla's coming, but Tesla will be, I don't know, it'll be bankrupt by the time that he gets it because...
Yeah, just
it'll
because
be
of Elon Twitter account.
Elon spent all his money on Twitter. What a dope. Eh? That was a bad move, eh? 44 billion?
Trump is back too.
Trump is back now?
Well, I guess if Elon bought the Twitter,
I haven't heard that yet. I don't know. But see, did you hear about Kanye West the other day?
What?
Oh.
I feel like we're like two grays who are like sitting and just like talking about it. Oh, have you seen her? Did you see how he was passing? Did you see what he was wearing? Oh my god. So what about Kanye West?
Kanye West got a big doo-doo, man. And so he made an anti-Semitic remark and about, but it was kind of, I don't know, I don't really understand the way he said it, but you know, he's in this, what do you call it, the War Games video, right? Okay. So he said something about, you know, the way they speak in that is, you know, they're going to burn this village or something like that.
Oh, so he was like talking to some kind of
11-year-old
probably?
Yeah, he shouldn't. He said something, but he was talking really in the video world, but shouldn't have really said it, right? And then so Elon Musk came out and did a tweet going, "Oh, I talked to him, and I think he understood," or something like this. So it's like two guys, like they're two friends talking, you know, rich guys, right? Going on Twitter. One owns it, one could buy it. Like it's just, you know, really, it's we shouldn't be talking about this. We should be talking about QuickBooks. Is what we should, you know, we should be staying in.
This is a completely drifted off.
Way drifted off. Okay, what else do we have?
No, these were all the topics that we wanted to touch on. This is why we went into Kanye West, I guess.
All right. Do you want to finish off with anything, or?
Sure. Do you have anything else that the weekly updates? Anything about
weekly updates?
TaxMechanic that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, TaxMechanic. Like I said, I've got. One of my clients is coming over next week and giving with QuickBooks to give us some swag. So I don't know what they're going to have. Yeah, I can't wait. So having some love from QuickBooks and my client, so it's nice, right? Our client, like Hamali, you know Hamali, and she does TikTok. She loves our TikToks, you know. So we're getting, some love that way. And actually, you guys should follow social media accounts, especially TikTok account is really doing well, getting popular. Really happy with that. Almost 8,000. Almost 8,000. 8,000 followers now, and I've had a lot of good feedback from that. And it's funny. I had a guy the other day was a businessman, doctor. You know, he's got $1 million properties, this and that. And, hey, can we do anything about the HST? And then I said, no, you can't. You got, they're always asking questions, whatever, like this, right? And I'm like, kicking tires, right? And then at the end of it, I said, oh, just by, from our records or whatever, how'd you hear about us? Oh, I follow you on TikTok. So and this is like a business guy. You would never think of that. He's got a family. He's got $1 million that way. He's there. So it's that's the way it is now. You have to, social media, you got to be out there. LinkedIn, TikTok, I think they're the two viral ones right now. Instagram, Facebook, still live. Facebook still, billions of views a month. It's absurd. So you're still, even though it's getting, a lot of negative press and that, and even with the Facebook advertising, but it's still relevant, right? So you just got to be out there, I'd say almost everywhere.
That's what we do.
Yeah. And check out our
Instagram,
accounts.
TikTok, Twitter. Our Twitter has great articles.
Yeah, Twitter's got good stuff. Krista's working hard on that. And
got
a lot of good
emails.
graphics.
Emails are fun.
We got the 5 Bullet Friday. If you have not been subscribed, if you have not subscribed to this, you've got to do that. Hey, it's worth it. Just
really good.
Go to our website and or shoot me an email or Eliza me an email, and we'll get it out to you. But I think there we'll close. And tonight is the first night of the Maple Leafs schedule, beating the Montreal Canadiens tonight. It's going to be glorious. And go Leafs go. This is going to be the year. Bye for now.
Bye.
I'm glad I got that on tape, because when they fucking win, I'm going to take this.